This is a story about inspiration. In November of 2006, Justin was in a bad place. He was working a dead-end job, he had been kicked out of his band, he'd broken up with his girlfriend. He was only 25 years old, but he already felt like his life was mediocre. He was living in North Carolina at the time, and he decided to pack everything he owned into his car and drive back to his hometown in Wisconsin. He drove straight through for about 18 hours until he finally got to his destination, a remote cabin that his dad had built in the late 70s. Justin didn't plan on staying there for that long, and he didn't plan on recording anything there. But he ended up staying in that cabin for the entire winter, and when he came out, he had recorded an album that would change his life. Justin was born and raised about an hour away from that cabin in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Justin was tall and pretty athletic. When he was a kid, he actually wanted to be a sportscaster. He was a big baseball fan, and he did like music. He loved bands like Primus and the Mighty Mighty Bosstones. But when he was in middle school, his mom and his sister dragged him to a concert that changed everything. They took him to see the Indigo Girls, and it had a huge impact on him. It became one of his favorite bands. It pushed him towards making music his career. He even got a tattoo of the lyrics to the song Fugitive on him. He played in various bands. He played in one band called Mount Vernon, which featured this saxophone player named Sarah Jensen. Justin and Sarah dated for a while, then broke up but remained friends. She'll be important later. When he went to college, he studied music theory, although later he changed to religious studies, which is what he got his degree in. But then after that, he was in this band called DeArmond Edison, and he was really serious about this band, so serious that the band all decided to move together from Wisconsin to Raleigh, North Carolina. The band all moved to Raleigh in 2005, seeking, if not fame and fortune, at least a good adventure. But things didn't really work out. Justin said that the band was getting sick of his songs. He gets kicked out of the band. He's working this soul-sucking job in a sandwich restaurant. He's playing a lot of online poker and losing a lot of money. He starts to have all sorts of health problems. He breaks up with his girlfriend. And that's when, heading into the winter of 2006, he decides that he just needs to escape. He packs up all his stuff, which does include some rudimentary recording equipment and an old Silvertone guitar, and he drives back to Wisconsin. He goes out to this cabin in the middle of nowhere, and he said for the first couple weeks, he just did nothing. He watched a lot of TV, a lot of northern exposure. That also is going to be important later. He drank a lot of beer. He hunted, something his dad had taught him to do when he was a kid. He ended up killing 2 deers, which lasted him the whole winter. He said sometimes there was just nothing but the sound of his own thoughts. He would watch the snowfall. He found himself thinking about his ex-girlfriend, not the one that he had just broken up with, but the one he was in Mount Vernon with, Sarah Jensen. He thought about how she was his great lost love. Now, Justin has said that his time in the cabin has been romanticized a lot over the years. He did say, look, I had a TV and a phone and there was plumbing and my dad would come visit and bring groceries every couple weeks. But he really was very isolated. And he did have to do some crazy stuff. Like one time he had to go into town to get his guitar repaired and he traded venison from the deer that he hunted to get it fixed. He also once had to go out on his front porch at 3 in the morning in his underwear in the below zero weather in Wisconsin and shoo away a bear who was trying to eat his venison stew. But finally, after about 3 weeks of what Justin called lazy self-indulgence, he started making music. He started writing some songs on his old Silvertone guitar. He started playing around with the recording equipment he'd brought. And he found that being isolated in this cabin actually helped him get a kind of musical breakthrough. He said it helped him shed all the guards that he had had up. It was just him alone, and as he started recording these songs, it was just an internal dialogue between him and the microphone. He started singing in this falsetto, which he said was very freeing. And the subject matter that he was singing about, a lot of it was about that ex-girlfriend, Sarah. As one article put it, this album that he was recording was him putting to rest the ghost of his lost love. After 3 months, Justin finally left the cabin, and he had recorded an album of 9 songs. He kind of thought that these songs might just be demos that he would record better somewhere else, but then when he played it for people, people loved the vibe that was captured by him recording this in this cabin. His friends convinced him that he should just release the album as is. So on June 1st, 2007, he put the album up on MySpace. He also pressed 500 CD copies of it. Now he just needed a name for the project. He didn't want to use his real name, Justin Vernon, so he took a phrase that he had heard a lot when he was watching Northern Exposure, Bon Iver.
In anticipation of this coming season, let me wish each and every one of you a Bon Iver. Good winter.
He actually spelled it wrong, but he liked the misspelling better, so he called the project Bon Iver. And the album, since so much of it was about his ex, Sarah, he named after her. Her middle name was Emma, so he called the album For Emma, Forever Ago. Although he has said that the album isn't strictly about her, he said, Emma isn't a person. Emma is a place you get stuck in. Emma's a pain you can't erase. And pretty soon the project started to get a lot of buzz. It was covered on lots of indie music websites. First, My Old Kentucky Blog, then Stereo Gum, Brooklyn Vegan, Pitchfork. He ended up signing with the indie label Jag Jaguar. And in February of 2008, about a year after Justin had emerged from the cabin, they re-released it and it became a phenomenon. It sold hundreds of thousands of copies. It was named one of the best albums of the year by numerous publications. It got him a lot of celebrity fans like Justin Timberlake and Kanye West, who brought in Justin to work on songs for My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And the album launched a successful career that is still continuing. In 2012, he was named Best New Artist at the Grammys. He's just released his 5th album as Bon Iver this year. And thanks to his time in the cabin, Justin found his purpose.
In the morning I'll be with you, but it will be a different kind. And I'll be holding all the tickets, and you'll be owning all the fine. So come on, skinny